Bonjour again. I'm here to this time tell you about Classkick. So Classkick is by far one of my favorite apps for that we use in our classes. And the reason why I love Classkick is because it gets the students to interact with the teacher, and the teacher can ask the students to do a certain activities or certain tasks, and the student can do them right on the screen, and then the teacher can see the work in real time. So I'm going to show you two ways to use Classkick. The first is on the computer. So when the teacher says Classkick is always, the teacher's Classkick is always listed in the sidebar of the class. And here's the thing about Classkick. It is, hold on just a second. Here's the thing about Classkick. Okay, bye.
So we can send these down the slide.
Okay, see you later. Sorry. Something's always happening. So each of your classes, I have it set up so for each of my classes, so each class has a code, and when they click on that in their Canvas, it comes up, so they just need to put their name in. So the teacher goes like this. You would get to Classkick by going to app.classkick.com. Here's my teacher account. As you can see, I have one set up for each of my students. And so I encourage you to go and set up your own Classkick. It's free. And so let's click on MSHS French 1, Middle School, High School French 1. So as you can see, we have different activities that we do. And I use it as a whiteboard. I also use it to interact with my students. So you can load pictures in here, PDFs, whatever. I use this for a game called Phrases Amusantes, which is a really fun game where I write a sentence and I ask the students to draw a picture of that sentence so that I can see that they've understood. Then we reverse it and I draw a picture and they write the sentence. I showed you this a little bit in a previous video, but it also has an iPad app, and I love to use it with my iPad, and some students prefer to use it with their iPads too, because then they can actually write on their screen instead of using the mouse to do that, which they can definitely do with the mouse. The other thing that's really awesome about this is that you can have them all put in the same name. They can play a game together, or they can use manipulatives. There is a feature on here. See, this is one I did with my third years, my honors third years. This little feature right here lets you create manipulatives, and this is a really cool thing because you can put whatever you want them to manipulate. You can have them do label things, and that's a really fun one. You can also do, for example, I've used this to teach verbs. You can do, for example, fill in the blanks. So, and this is a fill in the blank. So you can have a sentence and then, what an acceptable answer might be there, or just have them write in there. So there's lots of cool stuff, lots of tutorial videos on how to use Classkick. I share my screen. I share my screen here, and then I use my iPad to watch what they're doing and mark on their assignments. If you don't have an iPad, it's also very easy to see what they're doing, because you can look on your screen here. Usually, because there are independent study students, if you look, this student here, she was doing manipulatives. If it'll come up here, I don't know. My computer's been kind of slow lately. So you can see her manipulatives where she moved the people on the family tree. You can see I have a whole bunch of different games that we play on here. Yeah, so I really like Classkick a lot. We use it quite a bit. I'm trying to find some phrases amusantes, but I don't think I have any in here at the moment. So we use this quite a bit, and there's lots of tutorial videos which I will post on how to use Quizlet, or sorry, Classkick in the class. It's a really neat tool to use, and I find it to be probably one of the best things that I've used in class as far as having students interact with each other. We did bataille navale with verbs, and I used the breakout rooms and put them in partners so that they could play bataille navale, and they weren't able to see each other's screens, but I could watch everything that they were doing and making sure that they were interacting and on task in the class. So anyway, that's just an overview of how to use Classkick. I will post some other tutorials from the Classkick YouTube page, and so you can see how to use that. Très bien, merci.